What's up, ladies and gents? This is Casey Kid, coming at you with another Destiny video. Today we're going to take a look at our Shaxx Bounties, our weekly Shaxx Bounties that we get to do to get Nightfall tiered rewards. So I'm going to show off some of the awesome endings that we had to a few videos in doing these bounties on the different characters, and then of course show the rewards, plus one bonus reward. So if you enjoyed this video, go ahead and smack that like button, and subscribe to the channel. Now, the bonus reward is actually because last week I ended up doing my Shaxx bounty on only one character. I did it on the Warlock, I saved the clip, I figured I was going to get a chance to do it on my other characters, and I didn't. So this week we'll actually get to see 4 rewards. We'll get to see my Warlock from last week, and then one on each of these characters. So since I ended up picking up this quest, and you know how much I like rewards, I really just like to do it. I haven't been very lucky as far as getting my bounties to auto-complete, like I did in the beginning, so I've been having to make sure that I'm actually completing all 5 of these bounties for the Shaxx final Nightfall tiered reward bounty. But you know what, that's okay, it just gives me more incentive to actually play the game and get some additional clips. Right here I'm running around with my hunter, throwing out that shadow shot, and with that final melee we end up getting the nail in the coffin, and that is a victory. So some of the things that I needed to do this week was play around with a bunch of different weapons. I needed to get kills on my scout rifle, my pulse, my auto rifle, and my hand cannon, so that's why you'll see a bunch of different weapons in this clip. I wasn't using the last word as a hand cannon, I wanted to try something else out. You'll really notice that I really do play around with a lot of different guns. I just have a lot of fun with using a lot of different guns. Now obviously there are ones that are much better than others, but right here you can see I'm using the Mida and my Havoc Pigeon that I ended up putting in the video that I did over the weekend. So it's just been a lot of fun trying out a whole bunch of different things, and running around in Crucible is always a different experience. So even if the PvE experience in Destiny right now is a little bit dried up, we've seen it all before, we don't really jump into the raids all that much, PvP at least can give us some different experiences. Right here we've got a pretty close skirmish match going on, and we're holding down this B checkpoint, but I've got my super up and it's time to go hunting. Let's see if we can find any enemies, and there's this guy over here, and I am so lucky I have Ionic Blink on, because otherwise I would have totally blinked right off that map and ended this right there. Instead, I'm working on a Merciless, and we're working our way towards victory. With Transcendence on, I have my super up forever. And I love that for the Stormcaller. It's just so nice. This guy has no prayer at all. I even get a nice Mida curved bullet to finish things off even after the victory was over. And I got a best around, so you can't beat that. Aside from jumping into some control matches and some skirmish from things that were bounties from a week ago, I also had to do Rift, so I got to play a little bit of Rift this week. And here we are in a Rift match where we are definitely behind by just a little bit. You can see that the match is nearly over. My shadow shot ended up getting these 2 guys. Instead of throwing out my grenade or my smoke though, I ended up going around the corner and shooting them with a shotgun. So double down right there, and we did manage to close the gap just a little bit. We closed the gap a little bit, but we're on the wrong side of where the rift actually is, and that's always a problem. You always want to make sure you're picking up that rift whenever it comes into play, so I'm running down here towards where the rift is, and hopefully we can manage to grab this at least. Maybe one final push. I know that I can do a nice route to get in and potentially dunk it, or at least get a lot of progress, so I'm trying to go in and be the one to carry this, but I was just a fraction too late, and I didn't get to pick it up. So our teammate picked it up, but he got downed instantly. Still, there are a couple enemies there. I throw out my Wombo combo, and a Titan Slam ends up going and downing him, getting us enough points to pull nearly into the lead. We're so close to being in the lead. This guy comes running in front of us, and no, we're still down by just a little bit. With seconds to go, we managed to pull it off with 30 points. 30 points in the lead, and it's over. So with 30 points in the lead, we managed to win when the timer runs out. That was pretty close. That was really close. You don't see many games that are actually that close, especially down to the wire like that. So for our final clip, we've got another Rift match. This one is not as close as the last one. We've got a comfortable lead. Obviously in Rift, you can get some pretty big point swings, especially if you happen to dunk the spark in the enemy's Rift. But right now I feel pretty good with our 6,000 point lead. They do have the spark though, and there he is. He's running right in front of me, so managed to down him. No worries about them setting off our rift. We've got about 3,000 points until we can close this one out. Let's see if we can push our way in and grab that final spark. taking people down with the Nerwin's Mercy is so nice. It's still got that really nice range. I was mentioning in the other video that I really like its ability to take down an opposing Guardian in 3 bursts. I have terrible perks on my Nerwins. Absolutely terrible. So the fact that I'm able to get as many kills as I am with this Nerwins tells you about the strength of this gun. So right here, I'm actually pushing in, I grab the spark, I've got low health, and I know that heavy ammo is coming up. So what I'm going to do is just regroup with my team, I'm going to grab rockets for my truth, and we're all going to make a final push together on the opposing rift. So I'm running up here, I'm not going to be the first one to go out, I'm going to let my teammates push forward a little bit, let them shoot off some of their rockets, I shoot out my truth, I don't hit anything. But it looks like we are safe to progress a little bit further, right in towards the rift. I can see some enemies up on my radar. This guy's coming into my way, but he's already downed by my teammate. And there's a couple guys back there. I shoot it out and get a couple of them down. And we do the Dunkaroo. And that is it. That's the nail in the coffin. In fact, I don't even think my truth hit those 2 guys in the back. I think they were taken down by my teammates as well. So, yeah, that was a success. Now it's just time to turn in our bounties. Again, this very first one is from 2 weeks ago. This wasn't this recent week's bounties. On my Warlock, I ended up grabbing a Revelator. So let's take a look at what it has. It's a hand cannon, and I don't love it from the start. I don't love the Icarus or Relentless Tracker on it. It does have small bore, which can be nice, especially if you have luck in the chamber, but this does not have luck in the chamber, so it's just going to turn into some infusion fuel. We're going to stay on our Warlock, though. You can see that I need to turn in 1 additional bounty to get the final weekly one, and whenever I turn that one in, I get a Ghost Shell, and that only makes sense because this is Nightfall tiered rewards, so of course you have to get a Ghost Shell, though it did come at 308. So that's a pretty nice thing. Being able to get gear at over 300 light is always a good thing. On our Hunter, we get to turn in our bounties again to level it up. You can see that we ended up completing a few of those. 1500 points is always a pretty easy one to do. I'm going to have one for next week from the beginning and some progress on some others. And I get a Split Shifter Pro. So this fusion rifle isn't a terrible fusion rifle, but I don't love the perks and I'm no good with fusion rifles in general. It does have rifled barrel, which is really nice for range. Really nice range on this thing. Though I'm just really not very good with fusion rifles, I do have a Thesian with rangefinder, so that one would probably be the one of choice I would try out. So here we are on our Titan, our final one for the week, and I need to turn in some of these bounties. I'll have some progress for next week, or this week, starting tomorrow. Whenever we get this, it's finally time to turn in our last one. What do we end up grabbing? A No Land Beyond. So this is actually the first No Land Beyond that I got in year 2. This is the first No Land Beyond drop that I got. I really think I've seen everything drop this year so far. I think I've seen everything drop now. I've never used it though. Aside from using it in year 1 for the heavy ammo glitch, I've never fired off a No Land Beyond shot at any enemy or any Guardian at all. In fact, I've barely leveled up one. I think I maybe filled in the experience on one in year 1, but I probably never filled it out with the bubbles. How funny is that? Anyway, that's what I got for my weekly Shaxx bounties. What did you end up picking up? If you enjoyed this video, go ahead and smack that like button and subscribe to the channel. Check out these awesome videos. Good luck with your raids, your drops, your Shaxx, and I'll see you around in Destiny. No land for kid.